The secret to making women see you as the best option. Ever noticed how the guys who chase the least get chased the most? Ever wondered why the man who doesn't beg for attention ends up with all of it? Listen closely, because this is the truth no one tells you. Women don't choose the man who gives them the world. They choose the man who gives them something no one else can. A life of purpose, peace, and power. And that man, he doesn't chase. He doesn't prove. He doesn't play games. He just is. Welcome, brother. Today we're diving into the real game. Not the one filled with tricks, rules, and tactics, but the one that's timeless, ancient, and unbreakable. Stoic power. This isn't about being cold. It's not about pretending. And it sure as hell isn't about playing hard to get. It's about building something so strong within yourself that every woman you meet instantly knows you're different. You're not an option. You're not a backup plan. You are the standard. Why most men fail. The trap of approval. Let's be real. Most men are taught wrong. They're told, be nice. Show her you care. Text her more. Make her feel special. And what happens? She loses interest. She pulls away. She labels him as just a friend. Why? Because energy doesn't lie. When your actions are rooted in fear, fear of losing her, fear of being alone, fear of not being enough, she feels it. She may not say it, but deep down, she knows you're not the guy who can lead himself, let alone lead her. The shift from pleaser to presence. Now here's the shift. When you stop chasing her and start chasing your purpose, everything changes. When your validation comes from within, not her replies, not her compliments, not her attention, she starts to wonder about you. Why isn't he texting me first? Why is he so calm, so unbothered? Who is this man that doesn't need me, but still holds my attention? You see, it's not detachment for manipulation. It's detachment for elevation. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. If you're out here trying to prove you're worthy of her, you've already lost. Because the moment you start performing, convincing, chasing, you're no longer standing in power. You're standing in lack. And women can feel that instantly. The hidden psychology of why trying harder fails. Here's something that might sting, but you need to hear it. When a man tries to win a woman's love by giving more than he's receiving, he's not seen as romantic, he's seen as desperate. Every extra compliment, every good morning text, every overgiven gesture, it sends one loud message. I need you to like me so I can feel good about myself. But here's the twist. Women aren't wired to be attracted to a man who needs them. They're wired to be drawn to a man who chooses them. From a place of abundance. You are the prize, not the pleaser. You don't become the best option by being the nicest, or the most available, or the most romantic. You become the best option by being the most rooted in yourself. Women want a man whose life is so full that when he offers a seat next to him, it feels like a gift. They want to earn your time, your focus, your energy, because when you give it freely to anyone who shows interest, it's not valuable anymore. Be the flame, not the moth. Think about this. The flame doesn't chase the moth. The flame just burns, bright, steady, silent. And the moth, it can't help but be drawn to it. That's you. Be the flame. Stand tall in your purpose. Burn with clarity, direction, and presence. And stop fluttering around hoping to be noticed. Because when you stand still, everything worth having will find you. Now let's get real. If you're always available, always texting back instantly, always asking when you'll see her again. You're not giving her space to feel your absence. And that space, that silence, that's where mystery is born. And mystery is magnetic. Why constant presence kills attraction? It's a paradox most men miss. The more you're around, the less you're felt. You're like air, always there, always accessible, taken for granted. But when you create space, when you start focusing on yourself, your energy pulls back naturally, not as a game, but as a result of self-prioritization. And suddenly she feels it. She starts wondering, where is he? What's he doing? Is he thinking about me? And just like that, her desire wakes up. Absence creates respect, not rejection. Now hear this clearly. This is not about disappearing. This is not ghosting. And it sure as hell isn't manipulation. It's about creating healthy distance that shows, I have a life I'm building, a mission I'm focused on, and I don't need your validation to feel whole. That kind of presence in absence, it hits different because it's rare, and what's rare is respected. Let her come to you. When you stop chasing, something powerful happens. She starts reaching out. She starts investing. She starts seeing you as a man of value. Because you're not trying to win her. You're letting her come closer to your world on your terms. That's not arrogance. That's Stoic leadership. You're not forcing anything. You're just living fully and letting her choose to follow. Let's cut through the noise. Most guys are taught to worship women, to put them on a pedestal, to make her their everything. But here's the truth they don't tell you. Women don't want to be your purpose. They want to be a part of a man's life that already has purpose. Your life comes first. You're not here to orbit around her world. You're here to build your own, a mission, a vision, a reason you wake up before the alarm even rings. That kind of purpose, it changes how you walk, how you talk, how you move through the world. And she feels it because a man with direction is rare, and a man who doesn't need her attention, that's magnetic. The purpose-first mindset. She'll never fully respect a man who puts her above his goals. Why? Because deep down she wants to follow your lead, not become the one leading your emotions. When you put her above your mission, you send a message that your life revolves around her. And that makes her feel the pressure of having to carry your happiness, which is not what she truly desires. Lead yourself first. Self-worth isn't loud, it's calm, still, grounded. It's built by keeping promises to yourself, by showing up even when no one is watching, by living in alignment with what you say you're about. When you operate from that place, you stop chasing, you stop proving, and ironically, you become the man she can't help but notice. Scarcity. Why being less available makes you irresistible. Now let's talk about something powerful, something that rewires the way a woman perceives your value without you ever saying a word. Scarcity. Yeah, it's simple, but it's real. The more you're seen, the less you're valued. Ever notice this? The moment you're always texting, always calling, always there when she breathes, she stops responding as fast. Her attention starts to drift. The energy changes. Why? Because you became common. Rarity drives value. Think about gold. It's valuable not just because it's shiny, but because it's rare. A man who is always available, always accessible, is like sand. He's everywhere. He's easy to reach. He's forgettable. But a man who's building, who's focused, who's occasionally absent because he's actually living, that man stands out. He creates mystery. He invites curiosity. He makes her wonder. What's he up to? Why isn't he calling me first? Who has his attention now? This isn't about playing games. It's about playing life. Here's the Stoic twist. You don't create scarcity by pretending. You create it by actually having something better to do. You're in the gym. You're writing that book. You're building that business. You're finding peace in your silence. That absence, it's not a tactic. It's your truth. She'll feel the shift. And when she does, she won't see you as a man. She'll see you as the man. Emotional mastery. The calm that drives her crazy. Let's get real now. There's something deeper than muscles, money, or words. It's your emotional state, your inner world. And most men, they lose the game right here. They get triggered. They overreact. They chase validation in moments of insecurity, all while thinking they're being romantic or devoted. But guess what? To her, it looks like weakness. The power of calm presence. When a woman sees that you're emotionally grounded, something powerful happens inside her. She senses stability. She feels secure. She's drawn in. Because in a chaotic world, you become her peace. Not because you try to fix her. Not because you say the perfect words, but because you refuse to lose your center. You feel, but you don't react. Let's clear something up. Emotional mastery is not emotional suppression. You're allowed to feel. In fact, you must. But a Stoic man doesn't get controlled by what he feels. She pulls back. He doesn't spiral. She tests him. He doesn't flinch. She gets emotional. He stays solid. He observes. He breathes. He acts with clarity, not desperation. Why this drives her wild? Because women are emotional by nature. They flow, shift, feel everything deeply. And when she sees a man who doesn't crumble in the storm, she locks in. She respects you. She wants you. Because finally, here's a man she doesn't have to lead. Here's a man she can trust to stay grounded when life gets messy. This is the magnet. Not fake dominance. Not loud ego, but quiet, relentless control of self. The confidence she can feel without you saying a word. Let's cut the fluff. Confidence isn't loud. It's not cocky smiles. It's not flexing your lifestyle on social media. It's quiet. Solid, undeniable. And here's what most guys miss. Confidence isn't something you fake it till you make it. It's something you build through who you become. Real confidence comes from competence. You want to feel unshakable? Then get competent. In something. In anything. A man who knows what he's doing, whether that's in business, in health, in his craft, carries a different energy. He doesn't have to prove anything. He knows his value because he earned it. And women, they feel that energy before you even speak. Self-approval over external validation. Now listen closely. If your self-worth is tied to how she responds to your text, or how many compliments you get in a day, you're in trouble. Because the moment the approval disappears, your foundation crumbles. But when your validation comes from within, when you don't need her to make you feel like a man, that's when she starts to see you as the man, the one who can walk away. Not because he doesn't care, but because he cares about himself more. Why confidence is magnetic. Think about it. When a woman meets a man who speaks with calm certainty, isn't afraid of silence, doesn't over-explain himself, knows his path, with or without her, she feels safe yet intrigued. She feels challenged yet seen. She feels something she can't quite name, but she can't ignore it. That's the power of real, earned, internal confidence. Scarcity, the unspoken law of high-value men. Let's get brutally honest. Men who are always available are rarely valued. And I don't say this to be harsh. I say this because it's true in life, in love, in everything. What's rare is desired. What's always around gets overlooked. So let's talk about scarcity. Scarcity is not a game. It's a reflection of your priorities. This isn't about playing hard to get. It's not about ignoring texts or manipulating anyone. It's about being genuinely occupied with a life that doesn't revolve around her. A man who has purpose, has projects, has peace in solitude, has no time to chase because he's too busy building. That man becomes scarce by nature, not by strategy. And when a woman feels that, when she realizes she's not the center of your universe, she starts trying to earn her place in it. Why scarcity increases perceived value? Let me ask you this. Why does gold have value? Why are luxury cars rare? Why do limited edition anything sell out in minutes? Because they're not easy to get. Apply that same truth to yourself. If she can sense you're always one message away, always available, always waiting, you become common. But if she feels that your time, your attention, and your energy are earned, suddenly everything about you becomes more attractive. When you're scarce, you stand out. Most guys are over-texting, over-explaining, over-available. You be the contrast. You don't need to be cold. You just need to value yourself first. Your time, your mission, your mental clarity. These are your sacred spaces. Protect them. Because here's the Stoic truth. What you protect, others learn to respect. Emotional mastery, strength in stillness. Let's dive deep into something 95% of men overlook: emotional control. You see, most guys react. They get triggered by a delay in response, a cold tone, or a shift in energy. They spiral, they overthink, they overreact. And that's exactly when they lose their edge. Stoic power is emotional power. Stoics don't suppress emotions, they control them, they observe them, and they choose the response, never the reaction. That's power. Because in a world where everyone is emotionally reactive, a man who can stay grounded becomes a force of nature. Why emotional stability is so attractive. You ever wonder why women say, "He's just so calm. I feel safe around him. Nothing seems to shake him"? That's not a compliment to your abs or your car. That's a biological response to emotional security. When you're calm, composed, and collected, she feels peace, and peace is rare. So when she finds it in you, she doesn't want to lose it. Train your emotional core daily. This doesn't happen overnight. Meditate, journal, breathe, reflect. Walk away before you react. Mastery is built one silent choice at a time. In a world of emotional chaos, you're her calm in the storm. You're not the storm chaser. You're the mountain. And that, brother, is irresistible. Real confidence, the root of all power. Now let's finish this like kings. Everything we've talked about, scarcity, purpose, detachment, presence, it all stems from one thing: confidence. but not the loud, braggy, overcompensating kind. I'm talking about deep inner confidence, the type that comes from competence, clarity, and self-respect. Confidence doesn't chase, it attracts. When you walk into a room and don't need attention, you get it. When you speak less but with purpose, people listen. When you don't need approval, you gain respect. Women are incredibly perceptive. They can spot fake confidence in seconds. But real confidence, it's magnetic, it's subtle, and it screams, I know who I am, and I don't need you to validate it. How to build unshakable confidence. Here's the real formula. Do hard things. Earn your own respect. Keep promises to yourself. Become a man you can count on. Work on your skills. Not to impress her, but to impress you. Stay on your path. Whether she stays or walks away, you're good. Because confidence isn't a feeling, it's a foundation. Final words. Become the best option. By becoming the best man. Women don't choose based on tricks, lines, or money. They choose based on energy. And when you radiate detachment without coldness, scarcity without games, purpose without neediness, confidence without arrogance, you become a man she can't ignore. You become the best option. Not because you said you are, but because you became it. If this message hit home, drop a comment below. Subscribe for more powerful insights. And most importantly, commit to becoming the man you were meant to be. Your kingdom won't build itself. Let's rise.